Everybody, I'm excited to be introducing this week's module on biography films. Required view is What's Love Got to Do with It? It's one of my favorite films from the 90s, one I've shown often to this class, especially when I taught it in person. And I think it really fits with our discussion on biography films. What's Love Got to Do with It is based on the autobiography I, Tina, by superstar Tina Turner, who was really one of our most dynamic, talented female rock pop artists, I think, of all time. I admire her greatly. The film really ties in with what we're talking about this week because if you remember what we talked about in the PowerPoint, biographies have become really popular. And especially musical biographies, because they have two strong storytelling elements. They incorporate music, which we love, pop music, rock music, and they show that superstars have had their own personal woes and struggles, and it gives an authenticity and I think honesty to their stories. Many people have won awards for portraying somebody in a biopic. I mentioned that in the PowerPoint. Jamie Foxx for Ray, recently Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, to name a few. So let's talk about this film. It stars Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne. They play Ike and Tina Turner, who were a popular duo in the 60s, and it then shows you Tina's rise to fame and her eventual separation from a very abusive marriage to Ike. Angela Bassett's terrific. I mean, I think she should have won the Oscar. She was nominated in 1993. She just gives a brave, ferocious, energetic performance. Even though her music and her tracks are dubbed by actual tracks from Tina Turner, she just puts herself right into that character. And we really see her drive, her vulnerability, her strength. Lawrence Fishburne has that kind of difficult role. He's playing a real, Ike was not the nice guy. He was an asshole, actually, an abusive, rough, horrible person to be dealing with, egotistical, talented, yes, but a mess in other ways, and horrible the way he treated people viciously. So, to go into a full dive performance as this guy is really brave. And both of them, again, were Oscar nominated, and I think they're brilliant. So this film starts off looking at Tina from her upbringing in Tennessee as a young girl to meeting Ike as a teenager and eventually marrying him. And then they become a popular duo in the 60s. One of their big hits was Proud Mary. We see their rise to fame. We see his control over her career. At one point in the movie, she wants to do a solo song, and you can see that he is miffed at that. And then we see eventually by the 70s, he's become a very abusive husband to her, violently and sexually. Keep in mind while you're watching this film, it is going to look at her abuse so we can see how she escaped this and became the strong, independent woman. So there are some very harrowing scenes of domestic and sexual abuse. So I just want everyone to be prepared for that while they're watching this. But I think it's necessary because we have to see how she got out of this trap. We do see eventually her rise to independence and forging, I should say, a absolutely brilliant superstar career from the 1980s on. This is a woman I respect very much because she never gave up. She just kept plowing along, and she knew her talent, she knew her strength, and I think that's important. So just keep that in mind when you're watching the film. I hope you enjoy it. It's one of my favorite films, and it's brilliantly acted by Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne. So this week's What's Love Got to Do with It?